Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Fish, a member of Team Discraft on the tour team. This is my 7th year on Discraft, so I've been accumulating some honeys. Today, I'm gonna show you what's in my bag. I'm also sponsored by Upper Park Disc Golf, so I'm carrying everything in the Rebel. Great bag, got a lot of capacity for both my discs as well as stuff on the side pockets and in the top. We'll start with some drivers and then work our way down to putters. Those I throw the most, that's why I think they're the most important. We'll start off with the Nuke OS. I carry a max weight Z Nuke OS to fight even the stiffest of headwinds. Anytime I need a disc that goes left if I'm throwing backhand, right if I'm throwing forehand, regardless of the conditions, it's gonna be a Nuke OS. For max distance shots, I'm throwing a Z Nuke. I've got a few of these. These are from about 2019 or so my stash is dwindling a little bit. I like that this is a little bit domey, and at a 13 speed, it's gonna have a little bit of turn in a backhand flight to squeeze a little extra distance over what I get with forces. I also have 3 forces, 1 ESP, and 2 kind of old Zs. These are really utilitarian distance drivers for me. I like to cycle through my forces so that when they're brand new, they like to go left aggressively on the end, and they can fight a pretty good headwind out to about 450 feet or so. As they age though, they start to turn and they can be thrown for some more dedicated hyzer flips to glide, or I can use them for forehands because I have a little bit less power with the forehand. I also like to throw a lot of rollers, and a big Z Thrasher is what I'm currently using for that slot in my bag. This is a disc that's very fast but very understable. Therefore, I can kind of throw it flat and it'll turn on its own and then run when it gets to the ground. I can also throw some kind of weird hyzer flips with it. I think it's nice to have a very, very understable disc in the bag for that utility or goofy kind of shot. I'm also carrying 3 Raptors. I feel like the fairway drivers is a really strong part of Discraft's lineup. And with Raptors, I can throw both forehand and backhand pretty comfortably with them. I have one Z Raptor that's pretty flippy, a big Z Raptor that after a couple years of use has beaten into a very straight flyer, and then a purely overstable Z Raptor. This one, I can't really throw a forehand because it doesn't go anywhere. I can only throw backhands with this one. I also like throwing vultures regardless of whether I'm playing a wooded or open course. I feel like I can squeeze 400 feet out of a backhand drive with a vulture, even though it's only a fairway driver, but with less finish on the end than a driver requires. So I'm currently carrying 2 big Zs that I'll kind of cycle throughout the year to get a variety of stabilities. For my old school players out there, I'm also carrying a Z Tracker. Not a whole lot of these still running around, and not a whole lot of players who have them in the bag, but I like the overstability in that 7 or 8 speed slot so that I can manipulate the disc through some woods without a crazy finish on the end. And also in that 7 or 8 speed slot, I've got 2 Z Undertakers. One really old Z Undertaker that I've been working on for like 6 years now. I'll even throw this thing for rollers, as well as one of my first custom stamps, I solemnly swear to play boring golf, on a Z Undertaker. These are really good discs for all kinds of woods conditions, to be able to throw a hyzer flip that stands up, or something that's going to continue holding to the right on a backhand. Getting into mid-ranges, I'm also carrying 3 Comets. I have 2 ESP Comets that are pretty flippy. This one in particular has been in the bag for a long time. If you've seen my previous in the bags, this one is always in there. I also have a very fresh Z Comet, run from 2023, flying a little bit overstable, and I like that to be able to season it into something that's more like this. As it breaks in, it becomes an entirely different kind of Comet, but still very useful. And finally, I've got a Z Wasp. A little bit overstable for a mid-range, and it's a good complement to the Comet because I can still throw the same kind of lines, but get a more aggressive fade out of it. I'm currently carrying 2 Challengers, one old CryZtal Z Challenger from about 2005, and then another custom run of mine in Glo CT plastic. Kind of the overstable, understable complement to each other. I like using them on both woods and open up shots, just to be able to kind of nestle softly to the basket. Similarly, I'm carrying 2 zones, one in Jawbreaker and one in Z Flex plastic. You get the understability so that I can throw a forehand that kind of turns over with the Jawbreaker, as well as the more manipulable, overstable FLX Zone. And finally, the disc I throw the most because there are more putts than anything else in a disc golf round. I have my Jawbreaker Roaches with my 2023 Maryland Darter stamp on them. I like the Roach's profile. It's pretty flat on top, relatively rounded on the edges. For me, it feels very comfortable, and it's a straight flying putter so that I can spin the shot and keep it online for a long time. If you want to find these discs as well as others that can help support me, you can go to fishdiscgolf.com or daddydiscgolf.com to search my entire collection with this Maryland Darter stamp on them. Thank you so much to Discraft for being my primary disc sponsor these last 7 years. I look forward to more, and thank you so much for watching.